on
No.
that topic. So I know we have a couple questions.
Yes.
Gosh, hopefully we've got couples in there that are giving Celia some love because, man, she has helped us so much. And I'm so glad that you're here. So, okay, so let's tackle a
so
question.
we have Aranza in our Facebook group.
Yes. Hi,
And
Anza.
she spends all of her free time wedding planning.
Yes.
So she wants to know, how do I put the wedding planning, DIYing, working on the website to the side and take time for myself?
Okay, the fact that
That just gave me goosebumps, just an FYI.
the fact that you're even asking this question tells me that you're probably already doing something, whether it be small, to try to keep you're aware of it. And I feel like, I mean, we have heard it in so many different contexts, but awareness is the first step. So Aranza, correct? Aranza.
Don't you love that name?
It's a beautiful name. Yes. I'm glad you don't have to change your last name. You don't even have to change your last name, but I'm glad you're not changing your first name because it's beautiful. Yeah, do what you want. But it's a lot. It's a lot of work, but even as a business owner, so I'm going to take it kind of from like a personal standpoint to kind of relate to this, and I hope it's helpful. I don't know what you do for a living. It sounds like you work or are in school full time because you said in your free time you're doing all of this. As a business owner, I know when I've taken even like 20 or 30 minutes to move my body or meditate or just take a walk or just sit in silence or do something that like nourishes me on a human level, everything comes to me much clearer. So when I need to make decisions, I'm like more in tune, like, oh, that's the decision I want to make. Or because we can trust, our bodies are incredible. Our brains are incredible. We can trust that everything you've been thinking about and kind of like trying to sort through and problem solve when it comes to like how will you put the DIYs together and how many people will it take to like make an assembly line to like make this happen. If you like rest, if you sleep on it, if you go for a walk, if you go to a painting class, if you go to a dance class, if you go have coffee with a friend or read a book that you've been dying to read, like your brain is still processing that. So whenever you come back to that problem that you're going to face, the chances are so much higher that it's going to come to you pretty quickly about the decision to make. You are absolutely worth it. You're absolutely worth investing in. Your fiance knows that. And I believe deep down you know it too. So you are so worth taking the time for, and you are more valuable than your wedding day.
So true.
So you can start small. You can start with 10 minutes a day. You can start with 20 minutes a day. Whatever makes sense to you. Just do at least one thing a day that's going to nourish you or bring you joy. Whether that be for like a quick walk during lunch or say before I start wedding planning, I'm going to just like turn on Maggie Rogers or Selena Gomez and just like dance my heart out in my room. Like whatever makes you so happy, do that and then grow from there.
So I will tell you my take on it because it's a lot like Celia. Obviously, we're both business owners, so planning a wedding is a lot like being a business owner.
Yes.
I mean, some of you might be planning a wedding and being a business owner. Oh my goodness, sorry for you. And girl, we're here for you. But my life changed, and I have a very strong faith. But when I started waking up, and I can tell you, waking up early was not me. But just like Celia said, I started waking up early and really just taking, even 15 minutes and just canceling everything else out. And, for me, it's praying. For you, it might be something else. And it sounds like a long time, especially if you have to go to work and you have to, and just taking that is sometimes hardest thing to do, or losing that 15 or 20 minutes of sleep is sometimes the hardest thing to do. But when I get asked that question, that is always what I step back to, because it has, for someone who's working 7 days a week and running constantly, and that time is priceless to me, and it's hard to get in that routine. But just like you said, it's just taking the time for yourself. Whatever that looks like for you is just committing to that. And for me, if I wait for myself till the end of the day, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm out at night. I mean, so just, really taking that time in the morning, for me is just priceless. And I've been able to let so many things go during that time that maybe was stressing me from, the day before, or things I had to handle that day. And so it just really, really makes a difference. So yes. And I love just how all those ideas of just, you don't think how important it is. So I'm so glad you asked that question, because you don't think how important it is. Because if you're spent, your fiance is going to get the brunt of that, which makes it really, really tough to have this happy planning when at the end of the day, they're getting the brunt of it. And so it's very important, as hard as it is sometimes to take time for yourself. I was someone who gave it to everybody else and never did it for myself. And at the end of the day, it caused me a lot of issues. It caused me, a lot of issues. And so when I started realizing, I have to do it for myself first. And for me, that part of it's important for me. But yeah, it definitely take time for yourself. Definitely take time for yourself, because your fiance will be feeling it, and anyone else who's around you doing the wedding planning. I mean, that's where the bridezillas, I think, sometimes happen.
I hate that term so much, but because we get stressed.
Yes, it's
we
true.
just get stressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never had one. So I think
because you help everybody stay calm. You help diffuse.
Well, you do too. So
That's true.
Yeah. That's so true.
Um,
and it does help to have someone like that around you.
Oh my
that
gosh.
will diffuse. And
Yes.
if you know who that is in your life, be okay with calling them when you're.
I need you right now.
I just need you to diffuse. I need you to diffuse the situation, because not always do you need someone just on your side, as someone to just step you out of the snenario and diffuse. I'm gonna. Oh jeez.
Hi, Jerry.
So, why did we not have that on video? Gosh, dang it.
No one wants to see that.
Yeah. So, we want to be real in this group if you want to come over and do that again.
I didn't get to see it. I just saw your hands.
You don't want to see it. She's so honoring. Okay, so do we have another question?
There was one other thing I just thought of. If you're anything like me and you're kind of checklist task oriented, maybe make it part of your wedding planning to-dos of before I DIY, I am going to dedicate 5 minutes to doing creative thing for me, and it's honestly going to pour into your wedding positively.
Yes.
And into your relationship positively. So you can totally make it into a task.
Yes.
You're I have to do this wedding planning thing, and it's I'm taking a bubble bath. Do it.
Good job. Hopefully that helped. Okay.
Yes.
We have another question from Maria. She's also in our group.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
She said, what strategies can you share for creating a day of timeline?
Yes, that's a great question. It's a little tricky doing it over, because I can't talk to you. I can't hear you other than this question, Maria. But a couple of ways to go about it is to, again, like I said earlier when it came to the relationships, is to identify your core values as a couple, as well as maybe a sub category of your values for your wedding day. What are your must-have moments, and then also what are some of your I do not want this to happen, and that'll kind of illuminate what your priorities are that day. It all really depends on if you're serving a meal, if you're getting married outside, or if you're getting married inside and you're kind of wanting sunlight. So kind of start from the ceremony time and kind of work both ways from there.
Right.
So with your ceremony time, be aware of the light. I really encourage you to talk with your planner, the venue, and the photographer first about this. Your venue's gonna know the best lighting in that time. You can also just Google sunset time
On your wedding day.
on your wedding day
Yep.
in that location, and it'll tell you a lot. So that's the time like the sun's getting really, it's starting to get kind of dark. So depending on the type of light that you and your fiance and your photographer are really wanting, that's what I would say that's going to be your ceremony start time.
You'd be surprised how much your whole wedding day has to do with light.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
It's so true.
Because I'm assuming most of you are going to have photographers pretty much the whole day, and it makes a big difference for your photographer, as well as the memories that are being captured by your photographer and videographer, and like how you can even see with like getting your hair and makeup done, because that matters too. So from there, again, talk with your photographer. Or your planner or your videographer about thinking through all the photos you want before the ceremony. So this kind of like is really, really critical when it comes to family photos, because if you know it's just going to be immediate family, like I've had family photos where it's just immediately family and we're done in like 2 minutes. Like we just zip through. If you were doing extended family and maybe some friends, that's where you're definitely going to want to chat with your photographer as you're creating your timeline on how much time do you feel comfortable. And I ask photographers all the time, how much time do you feel comfortable and confident of getting this many people or this many groups in? So a way that you can really help with that is going ahead and like grouping people and like write them out by name. So either your planner or your photographer second shooter can just go through names and go through family photos.
And the way that I always
Yes,
explain
yes.
that, so just an example of what and before I say this, we are going to be covering a lot more as far as timeline in a couple videos or a couple lives, maybe not next week, but probably the week after, and hopefully going a little bit more into detail. But no, just like Celia said, every timeline is different.
Yeah.
Every timeline. Are you doing a first look? Are you not doing a first look? Are all your photos, do you not want anyone to see you before the wedding? Are we doing all the photos afterwards? So there's a lot that goes into it. And the way I always explain to everyone, so if you are doing 15 family photos, which is not very many. So I don't know what your family dynamics is, but that might be you and mom, you and dad, you and mom and dad. If there's step parents in there, then it's you and, so you can see you and your siblings, you and the immediate family, and then just like Zoe said, if you're talking extended families. So if you have 15 family photos just on your side, and your fiance's side has 15 family photos on their side, if those photos only take 1 minute apiece,
that's 30 minutes.
1 minute, that's 30 minutes right there. So know that the reason why Celia's saying a lot of it has to do with your photographer. There's some photographers who really believe you should only do the immediate family, and there's couples that believe that too. So that is definitely a big conversation that you'll have with your wedding planner, with your photographer. Those are two primary. If you don't have either one of those yet, those will definitely be the ones who take that timeline and really personalize it to what you are needing and wanting. And just like Celia said, what's the most important part to you? Is it, I have some couples that have said to me, I'm good if we have 15 minutes for just the couple, and I cry if that happens, because the whole day is about you guys. I mean, the whole day is about you guys. So yeah, and again, we are gonna step through that question, because it'll definitely be a whole. I feel
There's a lot. I could keep talking.
Yes.
I'm glad you caught me, because I was like getting into the nitty gritty.
No.
Just like a couple other like quick pointers for you, Maria, is when it comes to beauty, be very aware that it can take longer than you might assume. So make sure you chat with your venue about the time they open, as well as your hairstylist and makeup artist about how much time they need for every single person. So it's good to kind of plan ahead on like who all is needing hair and makeup, and is there enough space for all the stylists to come in and do the hair and makeup in the time that we're needing, or do we need to go off site and then travel time? So be aware of that. Make sure you have time to eat and drink water, and then make sure you're like following up with your professionals. That's why they're there. That's why they like give you contracts with specific times of like when they're available for you, and so that can give you some clues onto how to build it out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Any more questions?
No more questions. Okay.
Good. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for having
you.
me. It was
Thank
a
you.
blast. Thank you for following along. I hope this was really helpful. And this group is going to be amazing. Like, Debbie and her team are so dedicated to serving all of you. So be sure to jump in and ask any questions you have, because I know they're going to be available to help you, as well as any of the top professionals on the site. Like, I know them. They're absolutely amazing, and we all just are here cheering you on.
Yes. Yeah, so true, so true. So we are going to be doing a live, just like we said. We'll be doing a live every Wednesday. We'll do live at 5, but we're also going to be putting content into this group as well for, lots of other things. So it's not just going to be the lives. So, but if you have questions through the week, we'll definitely try to help. If it's something that's going to be coming up on the live, we'll direct you that way. But are you okay?
No, yeah, you're
okay.
good.
So yeah,
Nice.
so excited. Thank you truly
You're so
for
welcome.
being here. I am very blessed and very grateful for your heart and for just loving your couples like you do, and so I'm incredibly thankful for you sharing with everybody for sure. Oh, thank you. Okay. Bye guys.
Goodbye.